Coming to you live from international waters, yo. This is Butt Pirate Radio. I ended up cutting one episode into two, so this is the intro, you fucking gay-ass retarded bitch. So, like, that shooting, whatever, that kind of went quiet, so I want to introduce a segment where I just want to read a headline. Okay. And this is a Yahoo headline. It was porn star dad of LGBTQ club massacre suspect spews homophobia in his first interview. It's like, yeah, what else did you expect?
Yeah. I heard about that. Was it the dad of the shooter? Wasn't he
on camera?
His dad was a famous porn star.
Right. So like people was like, why is this guy led this shooting? It's because this guy can't get pussy, and his dad's fucking all over the internet. What do you expect? It's just like that's the backlash of these like questions that people have had about society forever. Like, what are these people going to do when they realize that there's hundreds of hours of their mom getting fucked on the internet?
I've thought about that.
Like, again, like the Sydney Sweeney thing that I talked about, at some point some asshole is going to send that kid a video of his mom getting banged.
Yes.
It's going to happen. You get into an argument with this kid, you have you're sitting there playing blackjack and you have fucking 21 sitting in your corner.
Moral of the story, porn breeds school shooters.
Right. Man, like you're
Dude,
going to...
I would
the atrocities. You're gonna make a bunch of people that are gonna end up being like Japan in the future.
Yeah, dude.
These people, if people can get together, or groups of people whose moms have been banged on the internet, these people are gonna be able to commit horrible crimes.
If I knew a kid when I was in high school whose mom was getting hollowed out on the internet, dude, I'd be sending.
You got into an argument with them.
Yeah,
that's the white person N-word.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, imagine there's videos of your mom getting DP'd by two fucking like Tyreses.
Yes.
Fuck.
There needs to be guidelines of where you can't allow that to happen. Because it's good. This shit doesn't end well.
I think if you're a porn star, you need to be sterilized. I think they need to sterilize porn stars. You remember Hot Kinky Joe? She was this Asian porn star who was famous for shit going in her ass, like massive things.
Yeah.
And she would take these like those miniature basketballs that were like yay big, like double the size of a grapefruit, and she would stick 6, 7, 8 of them in her fucking anal cavity and then shoot them out of her ass.
Yeah.
Imagine that's your mom, dude. Your mom's not even getting dicked down by fucking Johnny Sins. She's shooting basketballs out of her asshole on the internet. Yeah, she's
like, I've learned this trick to just be a whore in public. Like, that's the whole idea.
Oh, tough. Have you ever thought about if you could make money on OnlyFans?
For sure, but man, this is really personal. This is really personal. But I've had people offer me like money for videos of for me, either like for past sexual videos or videos of me like jacking off. People have offered me no, on the internet. People have offered me like hundreds of dollars for that, and it's like, of course not.
A Catch Me Outside girl rolling in dough from OnlyFans, and she's not even hot, and she doesn't even do hardcore shit on OnlyFans. She just shows her like her saggy tits in a bra.
You're right, but there's personal preference is involved too. So like, I'm not judgmental. I'm just going from a place from my own perspective.
Yeah. I
like chicks that are curvy, but I also don't like chicks that... Some guys like it when chicks dress like to show off their chick. I don't like that.
I kind of like dressing. Are you saying you don't like chicks that dress conservatively?
I like chicks that dress conservatively. I like the idea of a chick that like has a big old set of tits, but nobody has any idea. Like the idea that's just you're supposed to keep that quiet for who you're banging.
The perfect example of that is Carmela Soprano. I know you haven't watched The Sopranos yet. Carmela Soprano is so hot, but dresses like, big time jewelry, super conservative.
Yeah.
Like sweaters and shit. And she's fucking caking under all that.
Right. So like, and then I feel like some of that is like, what version of that is like watered down Muslim shit, and then what part of it is like, I just like a person that is like, I don't know, you keep that's the shit supposed to be like.
Yeah.
As I've said some very personal shit on here like
porn stars who are married to other porn stars. Johnny Sins is married to his wife is or no? She
But I feel like
was a
that's
porn
the
star.
only way that you can have a relationship like that works.
Yeah, you would both have to be.
You both have to.
So you're both compromised.
Yes.
But fuck, man.
And I feel like anytime you're in an open relationship, some part of that relationship is lacking.
Those always end bad for the dude.
Yeah.
Always.
It's like it's a video of your mom getting.
Yeah. If anything, yeah. If anything's gonna make me shoot up a school,
Right. And then again, it's like the funny thing about that is, like, so imagine that happens. Somebody shoots up a school, and sit there. People would blame guns. They have nobody, like no lobbies would be trying to get make it like legislation that made it
Right.
illegal to send kids
Right.
those videos.
What if you stabbed up a school? What would they do then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cut your steak with a spoon, pussy.
Yeah, fucking put that out into the fucking. Hopefully, some MK Ultra victim can then hear that and then have some type of I'm sure there's probably been mass stabbings in schools in like the UK.
There was one when I was in high school. It was a machete attack. A kid walked into I want to say it was a school near here where we are. Like it was
Really?
Yeah, and a kid went.
What,
into
Nicaragua?
Yeah. Yeah.
Santo Domingo, whatever the hell that is.
Running through the hallways, just slashing at kids with a machete.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
See,
I'd rather get shot.
Exactly. Shoot me right in the face, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. If like bleeding out, it has to be the worst way. Like this slowly losing consciousness with the delusion of you're not going to die mix in with it. Like, come on, man. Like, you probably don't think that you're going to die up until the second until you die.
There was... So one of the more famous like foreign school shootings, it happened somewhere in South America. Mexico maybe, but so these two kids walked into the school. There's CCTV video footage. You can just fucking watch it like on Reddit or whatever. Dude walks into the fucking lobby of the school and just starts capping kids. You see these kids get shot, but he has a buddy that comes in behind him with like an axe and a knife. And this dude, the first dude with a gun just starts going down hallways capping, and his buddy comes in and just starts stabbing the dead bodies that are like already on the ground. Like, that is so motherfucked, dude.
That just made me think of, so they always talk about like school shootings and liberals and like school shootings.
Yeah.
What is the biggest death for school like drone bombings? What's the most kids that the United States government is innocent kids that the United States government has killed with a drone bomb?
Yeah.
Probably like significantly more than people that have died in that.
They just got exposed for that.
And then especially Obama, you know, the amount of kids that kids that Obama is responsible for killing in schools is probably like 10 times the amount of kids that have died in school shootings throughout history.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they just see like a raghead on the fucking infrared. They're like, oh, he's moving at faster than a jog. Let's fucking drop a bomb on him.
The way that they're positioned in like the Middle East, they can murder people with zero consequence.
Yeah. Well, so remember during that Afghan pullout?
Yeah.
When they droned that car that they thought was full of terrorists and it was just a civilian family.
Yeah.
They got exposed hard for that, which is pretty tight. But that is so fucked.
Yeah, that's what. It's always weird when
Joe
little
Biden.
bits of pieces come out in the press, because like we were talking about fucking earlier in the week that like there's been a handful of times where the United States government will convince a retarded Muslim person to do some type of thing where it's about them detonating a bomb to
Boston Marathon.
Or just any type of like that they organize the whole thing and then just instill some patsy to do this just so they can continue like the Islamophobia rhetoric in the news to make it look so they can keep getting funding.
I think that's what the Boston bombing was.
Yeah. And the more that you look into it, the Boston bombing is wild.
That kid, they put him on the cover of Vogue.
And again, I think he might still be alive.
I think he's
a hot guy.
He's
that
not
is a
bad
hot
looking.
guy.
Yeah, he's not bad looking.
That Chechen dude.
Yeah,
he deserved to be on Vogue. Yeah,
from Chechnya.
Yeah, he's Chechen.
Oh, so
he's Chechnyan.
So he's not even like an Arab or a Muslim.
He's like essentially Russian. And then because the funniest thing about that is the Boston bombing happened. And the Boston, but for whatever reason, the FBI like even went out of their way to post something on Twitter. Is like, we can't believe it, but this is the suspect. We have no idea, like I've never heard of this guy or whatever.
They knew who it was
and
right
then
away.
Russia's Twitter is like, that's not true. And then they redact, like they interviewed the guy like weeks before that happening.
Yeah.
And of course, so like since he's from Chechnya, Russia of course knew that he had been like just was on it immediately. That again, like it's just, the whole thing is fucking theater.
How long after that happened did they know who it was? Immediately?
Yes. To that day that his way less hot brother got shot up, they killed him.
That seems, dude. That is.
And that's the guy that in an interview situation with that day that they in the interrogation, the FBI killed him.
Really?
They killed him in his apartment. The guy that he was associated with those two guys. The FBI, when they just went there to ask him questions, killed him in his apartment.
Yeah.
And they were totally like nobody was held liable.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's when the last time that we had an episode. That's the instance of what I was talking about the last time we recorded.
Really?
Yep. That was, and it
So
was
was
like
that an associate of them?
from like, or a relative, or of like a friend of a known friend that they shot him when interviewing him, and it like nothing about where he went. He was not even, they didn't even lie and say that he was aggressive.
Yeah.
And like he wrestled for a gun or something.
I wonder I wonder if they like ask him a certain question to figure out what he knows about what happened.
Yeah.
And based on his answer, they're like, all right.
Right. So the interesting question is like, so when I took this statistic is the FBI has killed 70 people in interrogation situations. Yeah. And that's just one instance were made for. How come those other stories, like you couldn't even probably find like press releases or something about the other 69 people that were killed unrightfully while being questioned by the FBI. It's like, how do they suppress that in like one of the few instances? Like the Boston marathon bombing has to happen for you to pick up on what the FBI is doing, like what they can get away with. Like not only can they kill Muslim people in Afghanistan, and not be held accountable, they can just kill people in the government. You work for the FBI, and it's like you're not even. That shit never even goes to court. Mm-hmm. You don't even get a settlement.
Yeah,
they can just kill you.
And say it was suicide most of the time.
No, they killed that Chechnyan guy. The FBI deems it okay. they can like they do an investigation and decide whether or not it was just.
Yeah,
it's up to their decision. It's fucking crazy.
If you're a sociopath, that's probably a sick job, being an FBI agent.
Right. You need that. It has to be filled with people like that because again, it comes like literally, how can you sleep?
Yeah.
If I am like have to get something done, I feel like I have to get something done at work and it's Sunday, I can't fall asleep at night.
Right.
You're responsible for millions of people dying. How the hell could you ever fall asleep on Sunday night? Like,
yeah.
you have to be off.
So sociopathy is what it is.
And so like Saudis, like the royal Saudis. So like with they try to say like 400 people died or whatever, but with 6,500 people dying while constructing the World Cup in Qatar, like the stadiums in Qatar, I can't tell if I'm morally obligated to watch it or boycott it, because it's like if you don't watch it, all of those people lost their lives for nothing. Yeah. And then if you don't watch it, then you're kind of, the lower the ratings, you're kind of like showing that people aren't.
If you do, humidity, if you don't.
Right, humidity's not okay with it then.
That's still going on, right? The World Cup.
Yeah.
When does it end?
I've probably got like another couple weeks.
I'll be interested in a couple months to look up and see if they just tore that shit down after it's done.
It's always like ghost. It's those things never get used again.
Yeah.
So 6,500 people died. Qatar wanted to spend $220 billion to construct that stuff that will be used for a month. Mm-hmm. That's the only time it'll ever get used.
It's funny. So they spent what'd you say,
220 billion, I think.
So they spent 220 billion and killed how many people building it?
600, almost 7,000.
So did all that just for a bunch of Americans to come and impose their faggotry on them?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is.
I forgot to write that bit down. That's the equivalent to that you wearing fucking pride colors is the equivalent to Saudis coming to like the United States hosting it and just displaying pictures and shirts of the twin towers on fire,
or like the 9/11 jumpers.
Yeah,
that is what it is.
It's exactly the same thing.
That whole part of the world, it's their religion.
Right.
Is homophobic.
Exactly.
So you can't expect to go there wearing your like pride flags,
right,
and then take a selfie and post it. Oh, we just got kicked out. No, you're about to get stoned to death.
Yeah.
You fucking retard.
Right, exactly. Those people are like sitting there like, oh, I can't believe they turned me away.
Yeah.
Like, you're lucky that they don't just murder you in the street, because that's, especially if you're a woman, because that's what they do in that country. You should be happy that they're allowing you to be there without wearing a headdress.
Right. I've said it to you a couple times. I can't remember who I read it from, but called it American woke imperialism.
Yeah, that's genius.
That's exactly what that shit is.
Yes, and it's totally disconnected from
the world.
Yeah. I could use a real life example, but I can't use it here. So
I'm interested.
One of the things I can't like, I finally realized why I don't like the Black Panther series. Is because the whole movie is nothing but black people on camera, and there's not a single N-word in the movie.
Yeah.
Not a single N-word used, so it's totally unrealistic.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they were to call each other N-words, I would watch the Black Panther for sure. If they made a black version of the Black Panther, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Do you think like African tribes call each other like their version of the N-word?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that because I think those tribes would call like Africans and African Americans. Africans hate African Americans.
Yeah.
They like openly hate them. Like they would just call them with the. Nobody calls African Americans hard R N-words like African black people.
Yeah. You know what's funny to think about is African American is a universal term for black people in America.
Yeah.
But probably 30% of the black people here are Jamaican. So
right.
What do they think about it?
Right.
They're getting gypped.
As a Norm Macdonald thing was like, okay, so Idris Elder, whatever the hell his name is African American, but he's from Italy. So
is he from Italy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So he's what is he? So what the fuck is he then? Because he's not an African American. Then he's an African Italian. And African sounds worse than black.
Yeah, it does.
The world's first solar power car is reportedly in production. Allegedly, it can drive up to 7 months without being charged. The United Arab Emirates recently said, "Damn, that car sounds cool. It's really too bad everybody involved in that automaker will be dead within the next month. It's really a shame. I wish that there was something that we could not do about it."
Yeah, that highlights a good point.
Because there's been 2 cars that literally you can fact. Like, I won't even look this up. You can fact check me. In history, they found 2 cars that have been able to run on hydrogen.
Yep.
And those,
water, right?
Right. And those people who figured it out ended up dead.
Yeah. So a steam engine,
right,
runs on just water. Right?
Yeah.
So why can't they make a fucking car that works on like a concentrated steam engine?
The entire answer for that question is because of Saudi oil money is the reason why. And
it's only a matter of time. If the world keeps going electric, these Saudis are about to hook up with the Japs and while out, dude.
Yes, dude. Somebody should leak a DOS to the left about how that the cars can run on hydrogen.
Yeah.
And all these environmentalists, and just see what happens. It would be fun to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what Greta Thunberg would say about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That I feel sorry for that cunt.
I'm surprised that they haven't used her as one of those kids that you're trying to bang that looks like an adult that looks like a kid in
you're
the
right,
HBO. Because she looks like a child.
She looks like she's 70 but like 3 at the same time.
She looks like a feeble child that those people like to bang.
Yeah. I bet you she gets fucking played out, dude.
Right. Like I feel like the fact that a kid looks weak probably makes the elite more attracted to it. Like, that kid can't defend itself.
Yeah.
It'd be so much easier to kill.
Yeah, she really. Who are her parents? Do her parents support
I think that they're
this?
super rich people. Because again,
of course.
Yeah.
fucking Christ, dude.
Yeah. Jason Frank, better known as the Green Power Ranger, recently lost a battle against himself when he committed suicide. So he becomes the 5th actual Power Ranger to die and the 20th cast member to die since the show originally aired in 1993.
The 20th?
20th, yeah. Some of those people I feel like kind of can die from old age. So I'd say about 5 of them. And then some like...
Power Rangers was like a 90s thing, right? When it started?
93 it started. It's just weird that this seems like a final destination of Hollywood when it comes to child entertainment.
So when a franchise gets really big, do you think the powers that be that control it, like Glee is an example,
and
Power
then they
Rangers,
just come in and compromise it?
Yes.
That makes it very easy to compromise, yeah.
That or like plan the deaths of all these people for whatever kind of financial reason.
Right, but the other question is then how advanced do you think that the CIA is that they're making Glee from the start? They're making that script from the beginning and they're just trying to instill propaganda.
Yeah.
Because they can just, give Fox money to let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a chicken or the egg situation. It's interesting. So, considering it was in the air for only 73 seconds, NASA should have named the Challenger the Mentally Challenger Space Shuttle.
That was the one that went up and fucking exploded.
It killed that teacher.
The teacher, yeah. All her students were watching on like live first color television or whatever.
I bet you all of those kids at one point had like a benzo addiction from the rest of it.
Dude,
Because how do you mentally recover from that as a child? Like, that's a formative fucking event that you can't forget, like, wouldn't forget.
If you were a former student of that teacher, please reach out.
Yeah, please do. I would like to know.
I just want to have a...
Oh,
God,
man.
it'd be interesting to talk to one of them.
And it's like, imagine if you would, were in New York and one of your parents worked in the tower that you knew that they worked on the floor of the Twin Tower, and you're just sitting there watching it at school. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, imagine right where the big gaping hole is. You're like, my mom worked right there.
Yeah.
You're like counting the windows up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's Jesus Christ. Like, if something that's trauma. That's trauma to like some people that you can't. No type of person can relate to.
Yeah, really.
Like when it comes to you, that's something interesting about therapy. Like if a kid that's been just passed around Hollywood, how do you find somebody that can give that kid advice on how to cope with what he's gone through?
Yeah.
Without using fucking heroin or using fucking cocaine to just like. To use chemicals to make him be okay to function.
Whatever they did with Pete Davidson, right?
But I don't think he's mentally stable. And he's just surrounded by fucking top-notch sniz, and he can't even, and he still can't function.
Yeah, you see, he went from Kim Kardashian to that what's her Emily?
Yeah, her face
is
retarded.
Yeah, she looks a little. She looks like a Kardashian or like a Jenner.
She looks like one of those human hybrids that fucking like they talk about, just in the face. Her face is jacked up.
Yeah.
Sure.
How do you feel about lip fillers?
I think if you can use it minimally, and you do it a little bit later, whatever. If you can use it to boost stuff that's already there, cool. And if you're on camera and you want to use like Botox to keep lines from aging, sure. But that's as far as I feel like that you can.
Yeah.
I would never do it like.
So if you look at Kylie Jenner and her lips, is that too much?
Of course.
Yeah.
The one thing I've never also been with a chick that had done filler. There's got to be an aspect of it. So, like, I feel like fake boobs, it's like whatever. But every single time that then you like kiss a chick that has fake lips, you feel it feels unnatural. Yeah. That's got to be goofy. So that has to be like something.
Last night who said that she's made out with a chick with lip filler. Said it's like kissing rocks.
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
So there has to be a certain aspect of it that's like then lacking that makes it less desirable.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sacrificing for your like image.
Right. And then you could chip your tooth on somebody's lip. Like.
Yeah, I wonder what those feel like wrapped around your dick.
Right, that's a good point.
Probably not bad. I don't know.
I don't know. And again, but it's probably hard to circulate those areas.
Yeah.
Everybody's cold all of the time.
That's a good point.
Because they're numb. You can't feel them.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if those bitches are like eating or drinking and their shit's just dripping out of their mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like they have Novocaine all the time.
Yeah.
It's like if you see New Girl, there's a couple like the last season. I think Megan Fox is in it. There's a couple of angles where like they couldn't help it. They show her from an angle, and her shit just looks weird. Like she can't smile.
Really?
She literally cannot smile.
That's probably like Botox or like facial plastic surgery.
Like she does, but it's like her face does this weird unnatural response where it's like everything compensating for the fact that the part of her body that smiles can't do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She talks, she only has her bottom teeth showing.
Yes, her top lip does not move. Yeah. It's so weird.
Interesting.
And then so what I don't get, like she already had voluptuous lips, so what it just like
she was in Transformers. She was so hot. I feel like that was where she like
got her.
Maybe not her start, but that's where she fucking blew up. Right?
Yeah, well, that's where she became like. Because I know that she became like a sexual icon at that point.
Yeah, from that movie. So hot.
Yeah.
Why fuck your shit
I think
up?
to try to preserve what she was at that time.
It never works.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. And there's some
John
people.
Travolta looks fucked these days.
There's some. If you do it well, and when you do it when you're old, I think one of the reasons that she did too much too early. Mm-hmm. Like if you're in your late, I think if you can hold off and do shit in your late 40s, you can make it look like I said in your mid 40s. You can then make it look like you're in your mid 40s for literally like 2 decades.
Like Jennifer Aniston.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
She did.
You can't preserve being in your early 30s. It's impossible. And then like getting rid of lines, it just looks unnatural.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who Super Dave Osborne is?
No.
He was all right. So he was in like Curb Your Enthusiasm a lot, but he was like a known like kind of like comedy figure guy. He looks like a burn victim. Like at some point, it's like, yeah, you don't have lines, but you look like a burn victim. You don't look right.
You know what's crazy? Nat Rothschild looks like that naturally.
Yeah. I feel like it just forces you to start getting liver spots on your neck or something, like to try to compensate for the fact that you don't have lines in your face.
It's your body trying to expel the foreign bodies.
Like I think like
that's why Michael Jackson's nose fell off on stage.
Right.
It seems like it always gets to the point where the person looks like they have Vaseline coated all over their fucking head.
Exactly.
Who's the matriarch of Versace? I think I talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that bitch's name?
I forget.
She looks like a nightmare figure.
I know. But again,
and she looks wet. She looks like she's soaking wet.
Yeah. It looks like somebody just put her out always.
Yeah.
Like she was melting and somebody put her out.
Maybe she was melting.
So one thing is like I'm not into the science, but like I wonder if anybody has ever like intravenously when someone's been in a coma. Has anybody just tried putting methamphetamine in their drip? Because like people are never asleep on methamphetamine
or adrenaline,
or if you were just like hard drugs, or like I wonder if
big time uppers.
It doesn't seem like they ever use drugs to try to use things to try to kickstart consciousness again.
Well, you know what? People being in a coma is passive income for the hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that's I guess there's not a whole lot of benefit to try to get somebody out of a coma.
I wonder how many. Remember that show, Kicking It Old School? The dude he was in a coma for 20 or 30 years, and he woke up after 20, 30 years, and his buddies from high school were trying to teach him how to be like a person again.
Yeah. I
wonder how many times somebody's actually been in a coma for that long.
Yeah.
Because
I don't buy it. Your brain, at some point, your brain starts to like deteriorate from lack of function, like anything. Mm-hmm. Like when you cut fucking like a vegetable off the vine or a fruit off the vine, it starts to decompose.
Right. Yeah. That's a really fucking good question about like methamphetamines.
And they call people a vegetable.
Yeah. Yeah, really. But we need to find out if they've tried putting amphetamines or adrenaline into people.
Yeah.
Like what,
adrenochrome.
If you shove an EpiPen in their chest
in
a coma.
Yeah. Because they use that for whatever the Narcan. Have they tried Narcanning people that are in a coma?
I think we just like actually discovered something.
That's
a serious psyop that nobody's realized yet.
Right, because it's like there's no medical reason to get people. There's no medical benefit for getting people out of a coma.
Right. Passive income.
Yeah. So the last thing I have, and we can get out of here. So like, I stopped drinking for a while is because I slur my words, and words really bad, and instead of not struggling to talk, I just start using racial slurs all the time. I've just gotten more comfortable with using slurs in public.
Yeah.
So that's an obvious that's like the Pelosi hammered joke that I'm surprised nobody's made before.
I'm surprised nobody's gotten shit faced in public and said some heinous racial shit, and then when they're getting charged for hate crime later, be like, I was just slurring my word.
Yeah, right.
Relax.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. Join us next week when we discuss the top 3 reasons to kill yourself.
What's the matter with you, boy?